Welcome to episode 12 of the Burning Bush podcast, where we share the message of the Bible while enjoying a good cigar. Hope everybody's having a good week so far, and I just want to say thanks for stopping by and checking out the podcast this week. I know we're finally getting some nice weather here in Southern California. It's staying consistently in the 80s during the day and the late afternoon, so perfect weather for being out in the garage smoking a cigar. One thing I can't stand, it's the cold. So looking forward to a nice summer of smoking, and I hope you all are too. This week I'm smoking the Rocky Patel Platinum Limited Edition Habano in the torpedo size, which is 6 1/8 by 52. And as I always do, I will read you from Rocky Patel's website the description of the cigar. This is the Platinum Limited Edition. When Platinum was first introduced in 2013, Rocky Patel couldn't decide between using a Connecticut broadleaf or an Ecuadorian Habano seed wrapper. Eventually, the Maduro won out. But Rocky wasn't finished with the Habano wrapped blend. He later released the Platinum Limited Edition, an offshoot brand rationed to small batches of Robusto, Toro, and Torpedo. The Nicaraguan fillers and San Andres binder are identical between the original Platinum and the LE, which means that all the difference comes from the limited edition's lush, reddish-brown Habano wrapper. Look for these gorgeous cigars packaged in radiant black boxes at your favorite tobacconist. And the sizes come in Robusto, which is 5.5 by 50, Toro, 6.5 by 52, and the Torpedo that I'm smoking, 6 1/8 by 52. And they were rated a 92 by Cigar Aficionado magazine. And this, by the way, I got this. I think I said in an earlier podcast that I normally only smoke Toros for the most part. I won't buy anything other than that. And if I do, it's usually something that's been gifted to me. So if any of you have any experience with Fox Cigar in Arizona, they have 2 locations, Fox Cigar Bar. I do mail order through them all the time, and I love it because they always, first of all, free shipping, no tax, and every time you order cigars, you always get at least 1 free cigar. I think the way they do it is if you order a 5-pack, they send you 1. If you order 10, they send you 2, and so on. Because my buddy just ordered a box from him, and he got 4 free cigars. They always throw something in the package for you. So they tossed in this Rocky Patel the last couple of times. So I smoked it once already, and figured I'd smoke it on the podcast and let you know about it. So definitely, I'll put a link to Fox Cigar in the show notes. It's foxcigar.com. Great place to order your cigars from. Great people. They always throw a nice little note in there and a free sticker, and like I said, always toss in an extra cigar, and free shipping, no tax. Check them out. I'm gonna have to do a little relight here. Went out on me while I was doing all that talking. So this week, I'm going to get back into Mike Heiser's book, What Does God Want? And I believe we're in chapter 2. Is this chapter 2 or chapter 3? This is chapter 3. We started last week. And the title of this section is Law and Loyalty. Eventually, God brought his people back to the place where he had originally spoken to Moses. There, he gave the Israelites his laws, the 10 Commandments. He made a covenant with them. It's important to realize that Israel was already God's people before the 10 Commandments were given. God had referred to the people as his family when Moses confronted Pharaoh. Exodus 3:7 and 10. 4:23, 5:1, 6:7, and chapter 7, verse 4. The laws weren't about earning a place in God's family. Israelites were already God's family. We need to unpack this distinction. It's pretty important. Rather than earning a place in God's family, God gave his people laws to show that they wanted to be in the family. God's laws were about showing that they weren't going to be disloyal and align themselves with some other god. Being loyal believers would allow God to use the Israelites to minister to all the other nations like a kingdom of priests. Exodus 19, 5-6. God wanted humanity in his family. He was starting with one group, Israel. If they were loyal believers, they would be a blessing to all other nations. Genesis 12:3. There's one more angle to understanding this covenant. God's laws also weren't about being good enough to make God love them. God already loved Israel. Deuteronomy 7:7-8. He had supernaturally enabled the elderly Abraham and Sarah to have a child from which Israel, in time, would come. Having a family was the whole point. God didn't create a list of rules so they'd qualify as family. They were his family. God's laws were designed to help his children avoid other gods and live happy, peaceful lives with one another, not to improve God's disposition toward them. True to form, God would not dismiss their free will. He just asked that they believe in him, who he was, and that he had created them out of love, and forsake all other gods. Any member of Israel could forsake God's love if they wanted. They could choose not to believe. They could choose to worship some other god. As we'll see, many did just that. Once the Israelites left Mount Sinai, where God gave them the law, God led them in the form of a man, an angel, to the promised land. Exodus 23:20-23 and Judges 2:1. Along the way, the people constantly complained about not having enough food and water. God provided. Exodus 15:22-27 and 16:1-30. They had to fight for their lives against lethal enemies in the land. God saved them from destruction. Deuteronomy 2-3, Joshua 11-12, Psalm 13:6, 10-24, and Acts 13:19. And that's the end of that section entitled Law and Loyalty from chapter 3 of Mike Heiser's book, What Does God Want? So that will do it for this week. Thanks again for stopping by, and check all the show notes for the links for everything that I mentioned in the show. Check out Fox Cigar, check out Mike Heiser's Amazon author page, pick up some of his books. I think you'll really enjoy them. And until next week, have a great day, have a great cigar, and God bless.